Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. Some of my peers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we're going to be talking about the event that took place in Utah with the attempted sacrificial lamb, if you will. We have the keywords here and now, so I'm going to say the keywords. This is the meaning of it. I will show you the keyword snippet throughout this video, but just to kind of have an idea on what it is that I'm talking about throughout this video, because I don't want to trigger the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, this video is being recorded on Friday, September 12th at 12:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as of when I'm recording it. This is my second go-ahead of redoing this entire video. I did a video, I uploaded it, not public, so don't go looking for it. It's not even going to be public. Spirit was telling me last night after I just got done doing a video that it cannot be posted. So I'm just redoing this video. I'm also going to be including some of your questions that you guys might have in case Spirit has anything that they would like to say to this. But anyway, it's being recorded Friday, September 12th at 12:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just keep in mind this video is just for entertainment and for educational purposes only as well. And if you want to help out the channel grow, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hit the bell icon, engaging with the content. Sharing this video with others really helps boost the algorithm here on this YouTube channel. And if you want to stay in the loop and be notified when I do post and upload, go into the description or the comment section below. Follow my Blue Sky account or my Facebook group to be notified when I do post and upload next. And also select the bell icon on my YouTube right next to the subscription button and turn on all notifications so YouTube can try to notify you. It's not guaranteed, but at least YouTube can try at least notify you if I do post and upload in case you don't check Facebook or Blue Sky. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's begin. We have a lot to get through in today's video. I'm exhausted. I took a NyQuil last night because I almost vomited. A lot of energy. I was dealing with a client and all these things, and my energy was just too exhausted to do anything else, but I almost vomited. Anyway, besides the point, we're here, we're ready, we're now in the moment. I am a little drowsy, so keep that in mind, but that might be playing to our benefit. Anyway, let's go ahead, let's begin. I hate long intros. Okay, so, let's go over the words actually, just so you know. Okay, so we have here, this word means takeout. This word means lamb. This word means the attempt. This word means the host. So when I was writing this down, this is the words that were coming to me via the, what to call it? When Spirit was telling me what to write down in terms of keynotes. Also, if you read in a very particular order, it says take out the lamb, the attempt, and the host. So somebody hosted the event of the attack to target the lamb by taking them out. Just for reference here. Alright. So I'm just also going to include some of the information that I had from my previous video and see if it lines up. But in the past video that I did that was not public, that Spirit told me to not post to you guys, there was indication of a blood oath. They were cutting up the arm or like the palm for both people, and there was blood contact. They were like in agreement. They're making no paper trail, nothing, but there was like blood cut from both parties' hands, and they made a compact via blood. I saw that. I saw that the person between 45 to 60 years old. That was the age range of the shooter. Obviously, we know who the shooter is according to what the media says. That doesn't mean it's guaranteed. But again, this video is just for entertainment purpose and educational purpose. So what do I know? What do I know? And then also with that as well, it also said that there was no relation or correlation between Donald Trump and what happened to the lamb, because in relation to the Epstein file, it was not ordered by Trump. It was actually ordered by somebody else, so somebody else orchestrated this whole thing, but it wasn't related to Trump. Is there anything else? They said I covered it. Okay, so we're going to take a look. We're going to see if any of this information lines up with the information I just said from the previous video, and see if maybe things change. Let's go ahead, let's look. Alright, so Spirit's angels tell me what happened in Utah the day that the lamb was assassinated. What happened in Utah? Okay. We have a proposal or a plan. Okay, something's hidden. Of a new leader, a new prospect. A new leader who gets taken down. The Knight of Swords reverse. To stop him from going after something. Okay, if you all know, this is my assassination card. This is removing somebody from a position of power. Yeah, okay. The bottom of the deck here is we have someone paid off somebody, and this was not justice being done. This was injustice, if you will. And here you have the Nine of Pentacles on top. The Nine of Pentacles will tell me great fortune, great wealth. And here you have justice again. The justice card is also reversed. Again, the scales of justice are not on the side. It is injustice. So somebody did this in a form of injustice to prevent justice from getting served. I hope that makes sense. So basically what it's saying that a criminal is covered in his tracks. Anybody who can easily out the criminal, or whoever this bad person is, they're covering the tracks. So this is what's going to be happening. They're covering the tracks, and obviously they found a decoy to blame the shooter on. But it's not really the real shooter in the moment. Well, ask Spirit, see if Spirit agrees or disagrees with me on that. But based on what I'm getting here, it doesn't look like that is the shooter. We do have here, we have the Knight of Cups here. The Knight of Cups is coming in with this proposal, an idea, a plan, go time, it's game plan, it's going ahead, it's moving forward, this is emotion. Which telling me that there was intention here, this was already pre-planned. So this is premeditated to sacrifice this lamb. We have here, we have the moon. The moon is telling me that something is hidden. And this is the card that also showed up in the reading last night when I was really originally doing my original recording. We have here, we have the dog and the wolf howling at the moon. They're not paying attention. And here you have is the Scorpio. And the Scorpio is going to come in and they're going to sting somebody and they're going to pull them into the water. Because they're not paying attention to their surroundings. Someone's not paying attention to their surroundings. Something gets pulled underwater. That's what that card indicates to me. And here you have is Page of Wands, new prospect, new goal, new ambition, new beliefs. It's the Page of Wands. And you see here that guy's not even looking at that lobster. He's looking away, which tells me that the lamb was having different belief system. He was developing his different ideas that were different than the ideals that he originally agreed upon with somebody. And here the next card that comes in is the Page of Swords reversed. And the Page of Swords reversed coming in as somebody who comes in as swinging with a bat, or someone with great ambition, someone with great strength and bravery, despite the odds. This is someone who didn't come and swing with the bat. This is somebody who's at a disadvantage. And followed by the Knight of Swords reversed, which tells me the plan has been enacted. But you see how the horse, the same horse, was moving at a slower pace? This was a movement. This was a movement that took many things to be right in order to occur and be successful. This is the movement. This is premeditated. This is pre-planned. This is saying that the plan has ended. This is the Knight of Swords. They finished the job. They did exactly what they needed to do. And as you see here, both horses are in reverse, but both horses are looking at each other. Because while this white horse, that was the proposal, this was the plan, this was the, what's it called, the attempt on the event, right? The attempt. This was the attempt on the lamb's life. And it was successful. And here you have it, the Knight of Pentacles reversed. There's underhanded money. So there is an inside job. This was a job that was done in order to spite and accelerate a certain way forward, if you will. But the next card that comes in is the Six of Cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This card also came up in the previous reading. This is the Six of Cups reversed, what falls underneath the Moon card. And the Moon card with the Six of Cups reversed is telling me that this normally card, when it's upright, indicates the past administration. The past administration will be the Democrats. This is reversed. It's saying right now the current administration or a future administration. And it's saying here that this wasn't a plan to pull somebody underwater, to get somebody to pay attention to something else. This was like almost like a distraction, if you will. And to pull something underwater when they're not looking. To be not observational, but to be distracted and, not be guided by your own intuition. That's what the Moon card is saying. The Moon card is saying someone's going to pull somebody underwater. And this was the people. This was the people, by the way, because in the previous video that I did, I have a little clip that I was actually sharing with my subscriber because she wanted to know what was in that video, and she asked me, like, what's your opinion on what happened? And I gave it to her based on what I got in the reading. And essentially, as I asked, did the attempt on the land's life accelerate fascism in the U.S.? And it said, yeah, it did. And it said that it fully ingrained, because what they did was essentially this attempt on this land's life not only made this guy a martyr, it also made it possible for people who were not engaged with politics or did not really care or were apathetic to politics now saw this as an opportunity to say, hey, listen, we had this guy who had a family, who had kids and whatnot. Maybe we should listen to what he has to say, and because of that, it actually further radicalizes more people into that block. It brings more people into that fold, the idea of them defending this. But no one's talking about what happened in Minnesota, but they're just so fixated on what happened here because there was this type of blood oath that was being co-joined, and blood oath is a formation of the occult, which means that in exchange for something, there was a sacrifice in exchange for energy, for a change in movement, a change in momentum. Remember, the Nazis played with the occult. They played with black magic. Fascism is also very much co-joined with black magic and fascism, so it would make a lot of sense that that would be the case. And in that video, which is not published at all because Bill told me not to, it did come up. It did come up pretty relatively, and that's part of the reason why Spirit wanted me to redo this video, to see if it comes through again, but not only that as well, to also see if there's more information that was coming to light that maybe I may have missed in the first video. But anyway, going back into the reading here, we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man card was the card that always indicates the attack, the attempt, the assassination. This is my JFK card. Excuse me. And this is the Hanged Man reverse. The idea is to assassinate the guy or the lamb who was starting to develop different ideas. To stop it in its track before it goes further. Because this is somebody of great influence, this is somebody of great importance. This is part of the movement. He did what he needed to do. Now they made sure that he was taken out to ensure that the control that they have remains in control. And here you have underneath the page of Swords, you have here the King of Swords reversed, which means that if you guys are with me for a while, you will be very familiar with this card. This means removing the incumbent, somebody in position of power lost power. This is saying that this is the loss of power, loss of influence for the Lamb because obviously he's no longer around. And you also have here, you have the Four of Wands. It's not done by the U.S. government, and that's what you're thinking. There is a little bit more sinister perspectives here. I don't know. I don't believe, and this has been confirmed already by my other guys. I mean, by my guys in the other video, and including this video. It doesn't seem to be pointing that the U.S. actually orchestrated this. I think that is partly why Trump was caught off guard, but it doesn't look like it was Trump. All right, so Spirit Angels, tell me. With that said, did Donald Trump get involved in any way with the assassination of the Lamb? No. No. It's what's it called? It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that's not 9 stories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know how I got 9. This is the 7 of Swords reverse. Right, that's what the card was saying. The top of the deck here, we have wishful thinking. Wishful thinking to assume it's him because that's a distraction. To assume that Donald Trump did this is that distraction in itself. But it doesn't seem to be on par with the fact that Donald Trump did not actually engage with this. And although it may have made it look obvious, this is for entertainment, educational purposes only, doesn't seem to be likely. And the reason for this is because we have the Four of Cups here, an opportunity, which means that Trump was kept in the dark about this, particularly because his alias symbolized to me that there was some sort of underlying medical health issue, and so this was a distraction, but this was not one of the things that he called because he was unavailable at the time the event took place up until the attack happened, and then he became available. It is a series of coincidences rather than intent. We do have here as well, we do have the Moon card. Again, this is just somebody taking taking somebody who is not aware and pulling them underwater to drown them or to eat them or kill them. This is what this card is essentially saying here. We have here an opportunity or a lack of intent to kill. Did not make the call, judgment in reverse. And if he was not the one to do it, he's not the devil. So no, I don't believe it was him, and it seems to be on par. Although I had suspicion that it could have been him. The tarot card yesterday has disagreed with me, and the cards today also disagree with that statement, despite what I personally think. I did get yesterday that there was possibly a chance of Elon Musk being involved, because it did say that this was a young, wealthy man who was actively involved in the sacrificing of the lamb. Okay, so Spirit Angel tell me, was this a young male who was actively engaged in behavior to sacrifice this lamb? Okay, so we have these two cards challenging each other. A lot of young men here. A lot of young men. Okay. We have here a young boy again, a young man, the Knight of Pentacles, an opportunity, a proposal. And here you have the Sun card in reverse. So not young, but definitely not old. So this is like middle age. We have here the card that comes in. It's the first card that comes in. It's whether or not somebody was actually engaged in this, who was older, who had more money, who had influence, but it was on the younger side of the spectrum. You have the High Priestess card. The High Priestess card is telling me that this was law and order, which means that somebody orchestrated this who was part of a government agency or part of a government in general. This could be foreign or domestic, but this is part of a government nonetheless. Because of all this going on here, you have the Three of Swords reversed. The Three of Swords reversed means a betrayal. This was not a sign to betray someone, but rather to send a message. And here you have it, the Ace of Pentacles, which is the challenge card. This is money. You have money that influence the donors, those lobbyists. This is kind of like what it feels like. It feels like trying to betray people to go to one specific direction. That's what the Three of Swords reverse followed by the Cross of Ace of Pentacles is saying, is that there is more to the story than meets the eye, but there is that indication here that there is a cross, and what's it called? Someone is not telling the truth. And this could be either a domestic agency or it could be a foreign agency, but nonetheless it is a group with an idea or a plan or a goal that's being brought out. So no, it wasn't Trump. We have here as well your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Holy cow, this NyQuil thing I taken hours ago, and somehow all of a sudden it hits me when I'm sitting down, but I was upstairs with the dogs or whatever, and I'm completely fine, but once I sit down in the chair, I'm exhausted. I don't get it. Anyway, we have the Seven of Wands here. The Seven of Wands here is somebody who's pushing, who's resistant, who's willing to put up a fight, who's going to put up a fight. That's what the card indicates here. Followed by the reverse Five of Swords, which means the bully, which means the bully got away. So now the guy who they caught or who was turned in was actually not the bully itself. The father who's turned the son in, which we're going to find out what his name is in a minute, was actually being paid underhanded. We have here, I actually want to know if the guy is a part of the military or part of a military at some point. We have here the Nine of Cups reversed. This means look at the bigger picture. There's more to the story than meets the eye. But again, to answer the question, it does feel like there is a foreign agency here, or a foreign government, or even better yet, a government agency that's actually involved in this behavior and to the cover-up of it. Alright. Now that we understand all that, let's go ahead, let's move on. We are going to act about the blood oath. So Spirit Angel tell me in the past reading that I did on this that you told me I was not allowed to post publicly. Was there a blood oath that was sworn in order to execute the sacrificial lamb? I'm hearing the word no and yes. Okay, why no and why yes? Okay, so I'm hearing in my right ear with the clairaudient ear, and they're saying that it's right but also wrong, because they're saying that you're on the right track, but it's not quite the right vocabulary, if that makes any sense. We have the star card here, and we're asking whether or not they did a blood oath. And it's saying that there's more to the story than meets the eye. So this is on equilibrium. This is equal battlefield. This is not something of leadership. This is behind the scenes. So this is something of great importance, but behind the scenes. And on the opposing side, we have the Empress card. So this is not women. This is men. This is masculine energy. This is masculine intention. And we're asking whether or not they did any sort of blood oath. We have the Nine of Swords here that tells me that there was and wasn't. There was a little bit different, what's it called? There was a little bit of a minor difference in how it was done, orchestrated, how it was able to prevent paper trail. So it does tell me that there was a lack of paper trail, but there was an agreement that was agreed upon. The question that I want to know is there anything that could track that? That's something that's really interesting to see if that comes about. All right, so let's go ahead to answer some of your questions in regards to what happened in Utah. Okay, so let's see. So Dorian X8U wants to know, was it a woman who did the takeout? Was it a woman who did the takeout? Was a woman who did the takeout? Okay, hold on. That's too many cards. Let's see, hold on. Let's put these cards in again. Was it a woman who did takeout? Was it a woman? Was the person who orchestrated the takeout and did the takeout a woman? Were they a woman? Now, keep in mind, this might be more of the feminine or masculine energy rather than the actual gender. Okay, so the first card is we have the Star card. The Star card is in the past, which tells me this person had experience in something in sort of, what's the best way to say it? They had military experience or they had some sort of, I'm hearing the word informant, so maybe like FBI for informant or like something of an agency in the past. It could be foreign or domestic, but they did have skill and they were purposely trained by a government of any choice. We do have here as well as followed by the Five of Cups in the future, which means the funeral. So this person was an assassin, it feels like. We have here in the past, we have the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is the challenge card actually as well. This person works behind the scenes, so this person actually doesn't have a database on them. So they're very much hidden. They live very secretly in life. They don't really have anything that could follow them. It's also challenged by the Eight of Cups, which tells me walking away. So this person will walk away, so they will get away with this. Because they're moving away from trouble into smoother, calmer water. This is the Six of Swords. This was actually a mission done that was told to them that, hey, listen, if you do this, we'll leave you alone. We'll never contact you again. You'll never get caught. Just do this one thing one last time and then you can walk out. That's it. It's done. And we also have here, we have the Five of Wands, which is also the challenge to that. I have a feeling this person will be back eventually. This is the Five of Wands. The question is, will they reveal it? Or will they come in for an attack? Another attack? Or will they be the one getting attacked to be silent so that nobody can speak up about it? Or is it possible that they might turn on the people who hired them? That's a question that I would like to know. I don't have any indication here that does indicate a woman. We have man, 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 women, man. Yeah, man. I think it's male. Or it could be masculine energy, but it doesn't indicate anything feminine. So we have here this Page of Wands here. It is another man as well, but it's going to be on the older side. So this is somebody who's not young, but somebody who's not old either. This is the King of Swords. The King of Swords, what happened to him? He was taken down. The Queen of Wands. So it was a male, not a female. So now it was not female. Okay. You want to know the security man was it at January 6th. So now the guy who was making those hand signals with his bat was doing like takeout signals. So he was doing takeout signals. In the reading I did before, it did indicate that he was actually involved in both Trump's and this one. Let's take a look. Okay, hold on. Okay, so for the guy who was the blonde dude who was making signals with his hat, the one in the white outfit spirit, was he the one who's also part of Butler, Pennsylvania, when Donald Trump had that supposed assassination? Okay, so we have the devil card. That's the challenge, followed by the page of wands. So wherever that guy is, danger follows. So going forward, look for that young, middle-aged, blonde white dude. Look for him because he's going to tell you when the next attack is going to occur. Because you have the page of wands reversed. It tells me there's somebody who isn't exactly in control of their life, but rather somebody who's in control of theirs. So they are working for somebody and they are obeying those signals. You do have the devil card, which is in the past, which tells me they have somebody in the past working that they have to work for. In regards for the future, they have the 5 of wands here. They're saying it's going to be all about fighting and battle. So it tells me as long as they're able to create the circumstance of chaos, they'll receive money in the page of pentacles. So they get a reward, they get a commission. So they work on commission essentially. And they get payout based on the chaos that they cause. So these are like chaos actors essentially. So we have here 2 females in reverse. So to answer your question again, was this person a female? No. This is the Empress, this is the Queen of Swords. They're both reversed. What is both telling me? There's 2 people involved in this, specifically who were directly orchestrating the event. One who was doing the signal, and the other who was doing the attempt. So there was a takeout, and there was the attempt on the lamb, and then there is the host. The host is a foreign entity, somebody who is either foreign or domestic, but is part of a government agency nonetheless, something with most structure. But it does tell me here that that guy, wherever he was, wherever he follows, is the clear indicator of death. He's like essentially the Grim Reaper, if that's the word I would say. So look for him the next time you want to know if something's going to happen. Okay. So now that we have that, I keep getting the energy of like, what's it called? What was I getting? I kept getting the energy of this guy, this blonde dude with the white skin tone. I don't know what his name is, but I know he's like in Donald Trump's picture and also in the land picture as well in the background. I kept getting the energy of like Men in Black. That's what it felt like. Like wherever they go, they're being followed. That's kind of like what it felt like. Okay, so with that being said, Spiel, let's ask the next question. Okay, so I want to ask directly, did Donald Trump orchestrate this? Just out of curiosity here, because that is part of the question. Tammy Locke wants to know. She wants to know if Trump did this. Did Donald Trump orchestrate this? No. No. No, someone else made the call on his behalf. Someone else made the call, but it wasn't Trump directly. We have the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups reversed. This is saying no. This was not planned. Donald Trump actually saw him as an ally. Somebody else saw him as an enemy. We have the Wheel of Fortune reverse. The Wheel of Fortune reverse is something that's going forward. So he saw himself as an enemy in the future, but not in the present. So no, Donald Trump did not call out the strike, but it does feel like, for entertainment, educational purposes only as well, it does feel like oftentimes more than not there is more to the story, and it does feel like Donald Trump knew he was going to be a problem in the future, but he feels like he can still use the lamb up until it's no longer usable. So no, the intention here was not to hurt Kirk. It was more of like trying to essentially suck more out without having to get back. That's what it feels like. It feels like no, I don't think Trump had anything to do with it. I just feel like he feels internally that there's more to it, that he can do more, and what to call it, he's not receiving that. At least he believes personally he can get more out of the lamb before he kicked the boot in the bucket. So essentially what it's saying is that yeah, eventually the lamb would have died, but it just was not orchestrated by him. This was orchestrated by somebody else. And here the Ace of Wands, here the Ace of Blame. This is the Ace of Blame. I'm hearing this is like an investigation. he is going to investigate because he wants to know who made this call on his behalf. So no, he didn't do it, but somebody else made the call. Someone else made this judgment. Someone else made this call. Okay. Now, yesterday I couldn't help but feel. I wonder if maybe possibly that what happened in July, because we know it was already planned back in 2024, and they were probably being told that to the Lamb to say, hey, listen, if you allowed us to do this event, allow us to attempt on your life, well, you'll look like a martyr, you'll look like a saint, and people will worship you, and you'll have all this power and influence, because you will look as if someone's attempted on your life. You have something important to say. And so maybe just for a moment, just let's entertain this idea. Maybe the Lamb was in on it. Maybe he was okay with that, but he didn't realize that they were actually going to take him out because they didn't take Trump out. So why would he think otherwise? Let's take a look at that. This person will tell me, did the Lamb, this is the assassination card, did the Lamb already know that, was the Lamb aware of the assassination plot on his life the day of the murder? Was the Lamb aware? The bomb deck here, we have the Ace of Swords. So yeah, he was aware that someone's going to take him out. This is the Ace of Swords. This means taking the sword and shoving this to somebody with great influence. And here is the Empress card reversed. He was aware. So he was aware one person who was involved with Trump's assassination attempt. So yeah, he was aware. It does feel like the Lamb was aware of this event. We do have the Emperor. He was aware of what happened to Trump when he was running for president. We do have here as well, we do have the Four of Swords reversed. He honestly was told, and he personally believed energetically, that it was not going to lead to his eventual death. That's what probably caught him off guard. He did not believe that they were actually going to do it. They thought they were going to miss him. At least that's what he was told. The next card is we have the Ten of Wands reversed. He was promised he wasn't going to struggle anymore. And this is interesting because it feels like, like when somebody says, oh, you're not going to struggle anymore. That's normally not the line that somebody tells you when they plan to keep you alive. It's somebody that someone tells you to say, hey, listen, at least they're not struggling anymore. At least they're not in pain anymore. That's normally normally a line that people use when they put animals down to make themselves feel better for doing that, for euthanizing the animal. In this instance, the lamb, Kirk, was that animal. And here you have is followed by the Knight of Wands reversed, preventing him from going forward with something. So he knows something. Maybe he was threatened or something. And they say, listen, we're going to do this event regardless whether or not you're going to expose it or not, but we're going to save you, but you cannot say anything. And he said, okay, yeah, sure, I'm not going to say anything. Then lo and behold, he gets killed. And here you have is the Ace of Queen of Pentacles reversed. This is money, underhanded money. So it almost feels like what I'm being told is that he was being promised that in exchange for this event to occur, they'll be able to give him money for his daughters and son or whatever, his children, to be able to have the life that they need in order to go to whatever college they want to get into. That's what it feels like. It feels like there's underhanded money, like black money. And here you have the High Priestess again, a government institution, an agency, whether it's domestic or foreign, and it falls right underneath the assassination. Okay, so there's that. All right, so let's answer the next question that somebody asked. Okay, Kim Finley. It's a young man who confessed, the one who really did it. Did he work alone? So we already know there's two people, so no, he did not work alone. What about the baseball hair signals of the two guys behind him? Was one of the security guys Austrian Butler? Yes, we confirmed that already. Is that the same guy? Yes, we confirmed that. So let's talk about that new guy, the guy who was apparently the suspect. Okay, so, okay, Tyler Robinson. Okay. Conspiracy Angel, tell me about Tyler Robertson. Did Tyler Robertson kill Charlie Kirk? No. 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 He was angry, yes, but no. No. We have the Queen of Coins. Keeping a close watch. This is the FBI keeping a close watch on him. On the top of the deck here, we have the Two of Pentacles reverse. This is telling me with certainty. What is with certainty? No. Nine of Swords. So with certainty, he was going to go through a very difficult part of his life. But this is my assassination card. When it's upright, it means that it was successful. If it was reversed, it means not successful. This is not him. No. Tyler Robertson was not the one. We have the Strength card in reverse. We asked whether or not he was the one who did this. The Strength card said no, there's not a lot of proof that indicates that he did do it. We do have here the Three of Pentacles. He was just the sacrificial lamb, if you will, another sacrifice, but it wasn't necessarily for the right reason, because remember the father who sacrificed or relinquished his son to the authorities and said that he's the one who did it, was just doing it because he was being forced or being paid to do it. We do have here as well, we have the Ten of Cups reversed. The Ten of Cups reversed is indicating to me specifically that no, he did not do this. Although he was sad about his life, he was depressed, he was upset. That's not saying that it did not happen, but it does feel like this wasn't a strong MO as you might have thought. Because you have here the lack of strength, the weakness. The Three of Pentacles mean inability to have the sufficient proof. Yeah, he may have been depressed, maybe he may have been sad, he may have not had the childhood or life that he wanted, but you do have the Seven of Wands here. And the Seven of Wands here is the pushback. The fact that he did not agree with this. So part of the reason why I'm getting now is that the father submitted his son to the authorities was also because they had a political disagreement, and the father thought it was a really fun idea to submit his son to this, knowing full well that he might get the death penalty. Because this isn't about it isn't about finding justice. It's about punishing those who are in opposition to you, punishing those who are dissent of you. So it does feel like this guy, Tyler Robertson, was actually starting to either wake up or starting to have opposing opinions other than his father, and therefore his father retaliated by trying to punish him by actually potentially landing him in a very, very bad position. We have as well, we have the Emperor. The Emperor is the father-like figure. This is the Emperor card that falls above the Seven of Wands here, was telling me that the son, Tyler Robertson, is no longer a big fan of Donald Trump, which means he turned on Donald Trump. So in a way, a lot of people are saying this is in correlation with the Epstein files. It is, but it isn't, because the son changed his opinion and tuned on Donald Trump after the release of the Epstein files, at least some reports of it. The father, however, is still very much in that cult-like apparatus, and therefore he figured punish the son by sending him to jail. And this is a very stupid move on the father, just saying. And here you have it, the Nine of Pentacles reversed. There's underhanded money here, so the father also got a large sum of money in order to frame his son for the murder of the lamb. Okay, so now that that's been well cleared out, let's see if there's any other remaining questions from her. Did he work alone? No. Because it wasn't him, so how would we even answer that question? We have here somebody new who said by JFORNTIN362 just posted this 14 minutes ago, and she said, we saw a video of two security people behind the lamb. Both seemed to give hand signals to the shooter. I think there has to be 5 to 6 people in on this, but who benefits? I think this is the false flag operation, and they sacrificed one of their own so Orange Guy can round up MAGA youth followers of the lamb. Same feeling as Butler. Approval numbers were tanking and shot up dramatically once Orange Guy was nicked in the ear. Same vibes. Who planned this? Who benefits? What is diversion from the Epstein news? No, it was not a diversion from the Epstein news, but again, it was a false flag operation. I do agree with that because it did say that in the other video when I asked about the United States. So let's go ahead and get that. Okay. Spiritual angels, tell me, is there a false flag operation being done by Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated? Was it a false flag event? Was it a false flag event that happened? Was it a false flag operation? Was the event that occurred on Charlie Kirk's life part of the false flag? Okay, so Republican hold. False flag apparatus. Assassination attempt. Was it a false flag operation? Okay. We have music industry, propaganda. What's the bottom of the deck? 1776, 1812, American Revolution. A lot of people are now calling for war, or they're calling for a militarization of something. We have here troubled leader, impeachment trial, and we have here electoral margin. This is punishment for something. This is almost the margin. Oh my God, this is almost the margin in 2024, because we have here 313 to 362, 69. Donald Trump got 312. The Senate is within this margin here, 215 to 222. And the U.S. Senate is within this margin, 54 to 46 Senate. Okay. Alright, so the first card is we're asking whether or not this was a false flag operation. We have here the election of 2026. Swing states decide. It's reversed. It means DACA and Dreamers stealing my job, immigration, build a wall. So there's blue card here. We have Republican hold. So Republican administration, in terms of immigration or the imprisonment of somebody, locking up, militarization, ICE, you name it. We have here the assassination attempt. The assassination attempt. We have here the reversal, 90s, interest in the impeachment trial. We have here the White House also is Republican. So for some reason the U.S. Congress here, U.S. Congress and the White House, around this assassination attempt. And here you have it, the food industry, which talks about animal abuse, quality of land and food, GMOs and other chemicals, food industry. We have the election of 2000, swing states decide, it's reversed. Why is it reversed? It says here the Great Depression, corporate greed, unstable economy, unemployment. We have here underneath this assassination attempt, we have here the troubled leader. So that makes sense. We have here as well is that the White House is going to get an impeachment trial. Another one. So it is a false flag operation. Yeah, it does say that, but it does say that this is going to lead closer to an impeachment trial. And here you have is the Electoral College margin. Spirit angels tell me, is any specific way this attempt is leading the United States towards, well, not leading, because fascism is already here. Is this the last operation that needed to be done in order to officially make the United States a fascist country? Is what happened with the assassination of Charlie Kirk officially solidifying fascism in the United States? Oh, another American Revolution card came in. Okay, so you have American Revolution card came in again, crossing the President, Senate, the House of Representatives, the governor, the politician reverse, propaganda. So yeah, it is. It's propaganda. It's the new revolution. This is what this is. So yeah, it is bringing this new ideology into the foreplay here, and they're hoping for something more. So yeah, it does. It does. This is a false flag operation. Let me see what the future of the false flag operation is going forward. Spirit angels tell me, what is the false flag operation that's heading towards the United States? Okay. We have here the White House. In the past, they flipped the White House. We have Donald Trump in reverse. So there's going to be a health crisis again. Health crisis in the past. So we're talking about the past for a moment. We're talking about the past and what is coming for the future. We have here hateful ideology, what's already been instituted. That's why it's in the past direction as well. We have here white supremacy, Proud Boy, neo-Nazis, pro-slavery. It comes here. What is coming in the future? We have 348, 378 electoral votes, 237, 248 seats, 60, 39, 1 Senate. So there's going to be a blowout in this midterms. We do have here military coup, but it is reversed. So Hitler does come in, but it's reversed. This card comes in as well on the top of the deck here. We have the Senate, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, majority leader. This is saying that someone in the Senate is going to do something. What is the Senate majority leader going to do in the future in regards to this? Okay, so we have the President of the United States. The President of the United States. The winner is unknown. The winner is unknown. There's high turnout. High turnout in a high turnout election. The winner is unknown who the president is because of a domestic terrorist attack. And what's the bottom of the deck? So I think this is coming in the future tense. And here we have is the moon landing, JFK assassination, COVID vaccine conspiracy theories. Yeah, so what's coming in the future? We have some big problems in the U.S. There's going to be a blowout midterm for one party. It does look like, more in particular, it does look like problems are troubling, but already it seems like all the operation that made the U.S. the way it is, it already happened. So this is already here. This is already here. Almost feels like. It feels like this wasn't a false flag operation. This just justified the operation. This is more like the justification rather than the actual operation. Alright. So if you guys are new here, the way these cards work, when it's non-color, it means it's white. Anything that's color means that it's, what to call it? It has a higher meaning, or bigger purpose, if you will. Alright, so, let's see. Let me shuffle, actually. Okay, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, Spirit Angel, tell me, what do we need to know about the assassination of Charlie Kirk? The assassination of Charlie Kirk. Okay, so let me pick some cards. I'm getting purple, but we don't have purple, so we'll use pink. So they're saying that when you put the pink and the blue together, you're making the purple. So I guess this is the one. Anything else? They're saying take a white and make light in the color. Is this the right card? Yes. Okay. For a card that comes out is non-white, innocent. So non-white, guilty. So dark, who's not innocent. And we have here the story of life, the story of death. What is this telling us? It's telling us that someone, this is not talking about an individual. Instead, it's talking about somebody's energy, non-pure darkness that was guilty, the story of death. What's the top of the deck? On the bottom deck, evil prevails. And what's behind the evil prevails? We have the attack. Is there anything else that we need to cover? Okay, so what the Spirit is telling me that I have to do another video after I get home later today when I do another tarot card reading on this specific matter. So leave all your questions or your comments, any of your thoughts, anything like that. Just be mindful of certain trigger words because they will get deleted by YouTube. I have no control over that. So put your comments and your questions in the video in the description below, and I will go ahead and answer it in part 2 of the video. And hopefully we'll get a little bit more contact. They did tell me they have a lot more to tell me later on, so definitely expect a video late into tonight, into tomorrow morning. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll see you all next time. Until then, peace out. I love you.